Entry number 17. Dr. Futural Riderless was a brilliant man. He was the one who built the security golems. However, his life was cut short. Yes, the new doctor is good and all, but one day, he will also fall. That day is today. I have a plan to eradicate him. If I can tamper with his experiment somehow, then I can delete him from this dimension. White Wolf will become mine once I become the new head scientist.
Last episode, I finished up my village, had a million mental breakdowns, and... hold on, yeah, this ain't gonna work. That was painful. That was 12 hours of my life going to waste. I kept the maps organised so I could put them back at a later date on the off chance I find a fix for this. Otherwise, we may need to find a different approach. Anyway, as I was saying, the village is mostly done. I'll return back to it to do a proper village with the houses and landmarks, but I'm taking a break on that to prioritise other projects. Today I'm venturing off to the side of my end portal, which is currently boring and uninteresting. So today, I'm going to fully revamp the end portal with a mega-sized end portal room, topped with a real end city to house my portal. Now this needs to be placed in a spot that I can't change, and that spot just so happens to be here, next to a massive river. That's going to need draining. Okay, fun. Well, the first thing I'm going to need to do is drain out the whole area. The first thing I did was mark out the area in which I was going to be digging, making a border around it to know where to drain. Once that was all done, I cleared out all the trees to level the area. I realised very quickly that I didn't have enough sponges for this, as I only had 3. So I took some more ocean monuments, killed the Elder Guardians, found the sponge room to loot, rinse repeat, and bish bash bosh, got the sponges. Now it's time to drain out this whole area. This didn't take ages for no fucking reason. But with that done, I can now begin digging out the area. By hand. Yeah, funny fucking joke, man. I'm blowing this shit up. To do that, I was going to need to build some TNT dupers. I cycled through a few designs as I'd never done this before, but eventually found one that worked, courtesy of Kale. Then it was just a case of building loads of them until they spanned the whole of the area I needed. Yeah, in the midst of testing these machines, I ended up blowing myself up. Surprisingly, I managed to salvage a lot, but my sword, Priceless, was nowhere to be found. Gutting, this sword was with me since the start. I'll make a new one, but this build will now be constructed in its honour. Maybe the Stronghold really could afford my diamond sword. Well, never right now, but shut up, that song's old and outdated. Once that was all sorted out though, it was time to dig out the area. And this is where I realised that there was a lot more water than I expected. Kill me. There was a whole fucking underwater cave at one point during this. Please like the video. I never asked, but my pain and sacrifice of my sanity is worth it this time around. After taking some time with my villagers, who all really fucking hate me for some reason, I can't imagine why. I only took away their freedom and rights as living creatures to enslave them in my village. I bought the books I needed and remade my sword, naming this one Priceless II. Now it's time to start resource gathering, and this is the part of the project that I was not looking forward to.
Fine.
Yep, you saw that correctly. I was going to need nearly 50,000 stone blocks for this. Thankfully, the second highest number of resources I needed is half of that, but this shit's still going to take ages to collect. Well, with no time to waste, I set off to my mine to gather all the stone I need. I really don't make this easy for myself, do I? Worth it for world building. You know what? Why don't we all play a game? It's called How Much Fucking Time Did It Take Ari to Mine 50,000 Stone? Is it A, 4 hours, B, 5 hours, or C, 6 hours? If you chose C, you're correct! This is my first resource gathered and I'm already going loopy. Now that I'm past the absolute fucking monstrosity of that, the next block I want to gather is wood types, being acacia and birch. It's just a case of heading to my tree farm and cutting down a bunch of trees. Even then it took forever due to the high number of logs I needed. Next up, I need to grab various colours of concrete. This one's going to take a long time, gathering all those different colours of dye, and sand, and gravel. How many videos until that bit dies? Who knows. Next up, I need terracotta. This one's a little bit more expensive than the others, as I'm incredibly rich and incredibly lazy. I'm like Elon Musk, but non-transphobic. What the fuck did I just say? Anyway, I contributed to the economy of villages that still hate me. What the fuck is going on? I got the terracotta I needed. There's a certain detail that I mentioned in the intro to this video which may have been overlooked. I said that I was going to need a real end city for this build to house my end portal, and that's not a lie. Call me the British Museum as I'm about to do a stealing, so I took to the end in search of an end city. Oh, and grab some obsidian too while I'm there. And endstone. I'm an airship. But I'll just take that one. Oh wait. Ooh. How'd you know what? I can work with this. I'll have this one. It's been a while since I did some end busting, and I low-key do need some more spare elytra, as this is the last one I have after the few deaths that I've had taking my old ones. So I looted the end city and then began Project British Museum. I've already made that joke, shut up. Starting off with the end ship. With that taken care of, I moved on to taking the actual city. Now I've got an end city in my pocket, I set back off to the overworld, not questioning how I have an entire city in my pocket. There's only a few more resources I need to gather, so let's not waste any time and get into it. Speedrun time. I gathered sandstone from the local murder beach and smelted it to smoothen it. I gathered moss from my mine by bone milling over and over, using that for cobblestone and stone bricks. I mined more stone and smelted it to smoothen it. I went to an ancient city to collect a skull, and then went to the nether and collected a fuck ton of warpwood blocks. We're done. That's it. No more. I'm done. With collecting resources, that is. I still need to do the build, so let's go. So that was a thing that just spawned in while I built. I genuinely have no idea how I'm going to get these guys out of here, so I'm just not going to do it. Hey, so editing Ira here. I could very easily get these guys out using the Happy Ghast. This video was fully recorded before the Happy Ghast came out, so I didn't think of that, and I didn't do that. But I probably will come back at some point and grab them, just using a Happy Ghast. But that's a future video. For now, I just kept them in there. Anyway, with all that done, the main part of this build is complete. It's absolutely fucking massive, even more so when you're looking at it in front of you. But there's still a lot that needs to be done before I can consider this build finalised. First of all, the actual build of the stronghold is not actually complete. There's still something major I have to do. Strongholds have 3 sources of lava in them, 2 at the front and 1 beneath the portal. And, like my mega base project, I intend to fill this with real lava, mainly because I couldn't get block built lava to look good. So I collected all the buckets I had and took to the nether to begin filling up the buckets. I didn't stream much of this project. Maybe I should have streamed more. Yeah, next project I will. That's one pool done, now on to the second. Two pools done. Now the main one in the middle. This one's gonna be long. With the final pool done, we are now finally finished with the stronghold. But that doesn't mean this project is done. The outside of the build looks really fucking ugly right now. And I'm not one to have a world that looks like shit. Hell fucking no. It's gotta be clean. So I begin the ever so fucking long process of building a mountain around the structure to make it flush with the ground. I got to about halfway done with the mountain before stopping for a minute to build something else. An end research station, situated at the head of the portal, run by scientists who were looking into the disappearance of the head scientist of the lab. So I got to work gathering resources for this build, mainly trying to utilise the blocks I had left over, so a lot of stone bricks, warped wood, tuff, etc. And here's a time lapse of the research station built. With that lore element implemented, it's finally time to end this project. So I built the rest of the mountain block by block. With the mountain finally finished, I think I'm ready to consider this project complete. Honestly, this was an insane project and it had its ups, downs, blood, sweat and tears poured into it, but I'm really proud of how it turned out. Just no more water caves for future projects please and thank you. And as I stand near this massive project I embarked on, I find myself catching a glimpse of a nearby village. I can only imagine what's going on in their minds.
The capital's been in a bit of despair lately. Dan's gone over to the portal the White Wolf's second doctor went missing in, supposedly to look into it, but what do I know? The guy never tells me anything.
Well, this is it. Portal. The doctor was only here last week. He can't have gotten far. Just think the joy I can bring to the capital if I find him. And
And all the money involved. Oh, can't wait. I don't think anyone saw me come here either. They'll all be mine.
Reggie, you wanted to see me?
Sharon, perfect timing. Have a look. I've been analysing the life of this dimension, and I found something. There's potential other life. I can't confirm whether White Wolf's second doctor is still alive or not, but what I do know is that Dan is still out there.
You mean?
Don't get it twisted, there's more than meets the eye. A Guardian watches over, and they have many soldiers piloting airships. To say that rescuing the two is an easy task is an overstatement, but not impossible. We need to band together with everyone in that village.
You think the mayor will allow it?
No need to worry, I've taken care of it. From now on, we'll be working together. I made him a deal. We'd help him revamp the town to attract more residents and collect more tax, and he'll help fund us. We'll be rich, have our friend back, and have a whole town where they all know our name. The Steel Foundation.